But we begin this morning with those deadly wildfires on the Hawaiian island of Maui. Almost 100 people have been confirmed dead, and many are still missing. The Inferno is the deadliest U.S. wildfire in more than a century, and at least 2,500 structures have been destroyed. Our Jessica Kartalija has more now from Maui.
Search and rescue teams are going door to door in hard-hit Lahaina, with dozens confirmed dead and hundreds missing after last week's tragic wildfires.
Our people are suffering, and we continue to work to find them.
I heard terrifying screams.
Lahaina resident Craig Bradley captured this video of the fire before escaping his home. With flames moving closer, Bradley says he rescued 2 people who were also trying to get away on a motorcycle.
Like, motorcycle won't start. And so there's a chance that if I hadn't been there at that moment and waited to that last second, I wouldn't have been able to save my 2 friends.
Here in Kihei, donations are being collected to help the thousands who have been displaced and are now relying on shelters to get by. This man and his family now live in an encampment after losing their apartment, but they hope to return home.
I'm going to try my best to find a way to stay in the town where I'm from, the place that I love.
Officials estimate the recovery will cost more than $5 billion, but that doesn't account for the emotional toll of what's being called the largest natural disaster in the state's history. Jessica Kartalija, CBS News, Maui.
And joining me now with more on this from Honolulu is Todd James. He's the national spokesperson for the American Red Cross. Thanks so much for making time this morning to chat, Todd. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Chanel.
So let's start with talking about the current state of search and rescue efforts. Where are we right now?
Well, the search and rescue efforts being conducted by the brave men and women who do that. I think they're working their hardest out there, and we wish them the best of luck. Right now, our main focus is on providing shelter and food and comfort to those that have been affected and driven from their homes. We've been doing that since the fires began, and we'll continue doing it as long as needed.
So let's talk about what the situation is like there on the ground for people who are there working, those humanitarian workers. Are there any challenges in getting aid to people who need it right now?
There are always logistical challenges in a disaster like this, and I think that probably a little more so than normal because of the situation of being located on an island. But yeah, it is difficult getting into the areas that have been affected at times. But our teams and the many first responder teams that are out there offering help work very hard to make sure that we can get help to everybody that needs it, and letting everybody know that if they need shelter, if they need a meal, if they need help, that we are there. They can come to us at any time, and we're going to make sure they get taken care of.
And obviously we're hearing, Todd, housing is one of the biggest issues. What are you hearing in terms of what people need?
Well, what people need right now, for the most part, a lot of the folks who live in the communities that have been affected by these fires, they want to get back, and they want to see what's going on with their homes. But right now, we got to make sure that they have a safe place to stay, that they have access to meals, to health care. We have our disaster health teams that are in the shelters, and our disaster mental health teams with the emotional support they're going to need, because this is such a traumatic event. This community, this entire state has been affected by this disaster, and it is going to be a very long road to recovery for everyone.
I wonder as well, Todd, if you can speak a bit about how your crews, how your teams prepare to help in a moment like this.
Well, for the Red Cross, we are planning and preparing every day. Our volunteers, our disaster teams are constantly putting in work to make sure that we are ready when something happens. As in this case, as soon as the fires began, the Red Cross volunteers on Maui sprang into action and started so we could get a shelter open. And as a disaster grows, as this one did, we put out the word for more help, and people that have been trained to handle a situation like this, they head wherever they are needed.
We're seeing, people across the country sort of come together to try to help. Oprah, we know, is a part-time resident of Maui. She's been visiting with people in shelters there, Todd, and she spoke to CBS Morning's Tony DeCopel a bit about the spirit of the people on Maui right now. Take a listen.
they're still just grateful to have each other. So it's really, you know, the aloha spirit is about community and about family, and we've seen this here in ways that, you know, most people never get to imagine what that really looks like.
Todd, we're hearing so much, right, about that Maui spirit. Talk to us a bit about what you're hearing, what your crews are seeing on the ground when it comes to how people are coming together in this really horrible moment.
I would echo those sentiments. I've heard a lot since I've arrived here about the aloha spirit, and it's a spirit of love, of respect, of welcome. And we have been welcomed with open arms. And what I'm seeing with these communities that are pulling together to help each other, to help their neighbors and their friends and their family, without a doubt, it is something to witness how this community, how, again, this entire state is coming together to help those folks.
Todd, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it. And of course, for all of the really important work you and your team are doing.
Thank you very much. If you'd like to know more about what we're doing or how you can help, please visit us at redcross.org. And thank you.
Okay, thanks, Todd.